So I've started a new practice swatch, and in this I'm going to alternate colors every single row so you can see what's happening. So this first row is all double crochets. I've chained to create the foundation chain. You've gone back, you've done all double crochets. When you are making your own swatch, each set for the Celtic Weave will have 4 stitches. And then you're going to have 1 double crochet on each end. I've added extra because of the color change, but you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so the second row you're going to chain 2, and you're going to start by doing a double crochet in the first stitch. We're going to always pretend the 2 on the ends aren't there. Like I said, I did that for color changing. So your first one is a double crochet. Now you are going to skip 2 stitches. From here on out, I would count by the posts. So 1, 2. In this third stitch, we are going to work a triple crochet front post stitch in front. So again, I'm in front of my work. The post is now in front of my hook. Yarn over and finish your stitch. Do that again. Again, we are making triple crochet front post stitch on this row. Now you go back to the stitches that you've skipped. That's these 2 right here. You go to the first skipped one. You're going to do a triple crochet front post stitch. So it's the same thing, you're just going backwards, back to this. But you're going to work the stitch. And then it's okay to move this to find that second skip stitch, because your tension we're going to manage by this and by holding here. And so you get beautiful stitches, and you also get the luxury of moving things to find where to go next. Okay, now you skip 2 more stitches. These are already worked in, so we're not even counting them now. It's counting or skipping 2 unworked stitches. So unworked, triple crochet front post stitch right here. So this is in the third unworked stitch. Repeat in the very next one. Again, we are going to go back to these 2 skipped stitches. Just pull down in front of your work. Make sure the post is in front of your hook. Finish your stitch. Again, you can move things to find that unworked one. You're still working in front of everything. This whole row will be front post stitch. Okay. Let's make one more set. Skip 2 unworked. Again, come to those skipped stitches. Now, our swatch has one more stitch. This is where you work a double crochet. I'm going to come out here and change out color. In this row, we are not going to skip these first two. Now, here are some tricks that I want to show you to help. You can, if you are getting lost, look at the stitches, and so the next stitch right here, and you can feel and find its post. So that's one way to find which ones are next. When you are working in all of this, I have found that if you take your finger and put it in between that twisted thing, you can easily keep things separate to work them. So you find what works for you and what's comfortable, but those are some of the tricks that I have come across. So we are going to do triple crochet back post. So back post, again, we come to the back of the work. We make sure that the post is back behind our hook and finish the stitch. You're going to do a second one. So find that next post. Okay, behind the work, the post is behind the hook. Now you're going to skip 2 stitches, which are these ones. You're going to come over here, and even though these are the ones that are easily seen, if you kind of look at the way that the line is progressing, the stitches are progressing, these are the next 2. So you're going to come behind, grab that post, just that post, work your triple crochet, do that a second time. So I've got my finger in there to help pull things away. I'm using this finger to help push that up in front. And at that point you can use the hook to follow your fingers and get right around that post. Now we're going to go back to the skipped stitches. I would still put my finger here because you're going to follow your finger in a minute. Start the stitch. This is helpful for the tension. You're still going back behind the work. So this is where I follow my finger with the hook tip, and now you come out here. You're going to make sure to go around that post, and now just do everything on the back, right? This is the back of your work. Can you see that? I've literally kind of just squished everything down, and I'm just focusing on this one stitch and getting it finished. Now I'll open it back up. I will have it facing me properly. I'll put my finger into that gap, because this last stitch, you know, we can even pull on it. It'll pull on which post it's on if you have any difficulty. But here's the unworked one. So we're going to start, go behind our work. I'm following my finger, going around that post, and now I'm just going to be on the back side to finish up that stitch. So as long as you just take your time, then you're going to be just fine. Okay, so we're to skip 2 stitches, work our triple back post, these colors are making me think of that movie Cool Runnings. Okay, now we come back to the skipped ones. Again, find what works for you to move the stitches away from each other and to help guide your hook to where it needs to go. Go around the one post. Repeat. Just go around the one post. There we go. Alright, well, do that one again. So, here, remember, on mine, because we're changing colors, these 2 stitches we're pretending aren't there. So you are at the end of your swatch. You have 2 of your triples and you have your double crochet. So we're not going to skip these. We're just going to go ahead straight to these ones. You're still working back post though, so go to the back of the work. The post is now behind your hook. Same kind of thing, even though we didn't skip. So whenever you are working what is going to be the back side of the Celtic Weave, that is when you do back post stitches, and also at the 2 first and the 2 last, you do not skip. Just as you're, going farther and farther into your Celtic Weave, if you're doing multiple rows, that's one thing to help you just remember which way, which one is back post and front post rows. Alright, then you do a double crochet. Here's where you would chain 2, turn your work. I'm going to switch out colors. Okay, so you're going to chain your 2, you're going to do your first stitch, which is a double crochet. We are on the front of the Celtic Weave, and you can already see where it's looking like it's weaving itself in and out. So front work means front post, and we are immediately skipping. Skip the first 2, triple crochet, front post stitches, repeat that, come back to what was skipped. Still doing front post, of course, so in front of everything, make sure the post is in front of the hook. You guys are doing great. It does look a little bit different now that you're not just working on a solid row of double crochets, but it is the exact same concept. And we're still continuing to get that nice woven look. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit different. We're supposed to skip 2 stitches, but to find your skipped stitches, you have to look in the back. So just know that those right there are the ones we're skipping. We're going right here for these, what look to be the easier ones. So front post, there we go. Another triple crochet front post right here. You guys take your time. If you need to pause this, pause this. I promise I won't go anywhere. Come back to these skipped ones. Yes, you can move your work. I always brace it up against my finger because it helps it stay where I can see it. If you want, you know, just keep using this trick for the tension. Keep in front of the work. Get that post in front of your hook. And finish up your stitch. We're going to repeat that right there. This makes such a beautiful, beautiful stitch that it is really worth taking the time to just do this. Oops, except I went through too many loops. Alright, so if you have to kind of backtrack, make sure that you get them separated again. If you left this one overlapped, what happens is when you go and do this step, it doesn't create this nice uniform stitch. You get something really different looking. Alrighty, so again we're going to skip 2 stitches. They're hiding back here. Alright, I'm going to work this last set. And of course, come back to the ones we've skipped. Just like that. 2, go through 2. Get this other one pushed up and ready to go. And then your swatch would have just the double crochet right there. You can make your swatch, if you're doing your own thing, you're not following a pattern, you can stop whenever this is as big as you want. You can stop here on what would be considered the first section of the Celtic Weave. You can do another row and get another back row in there. It's up to you. But I'm going to do another row to show you the difference of edging. So if you want to finish this, and so you do a row of double crochets like you started with, I wanted to demonstrate what that's going to look like. Oh, also when you are done, just follow across the top each next stitch just like normal. And so at this moment, I would recommend literally kind of just using your fingers as guides and just focus on stitches, those little V's. Don't worry about looking at the posts and trying to figure out all that. But let's take a moment and turn this and look at the front side. Your first row of all double crochets got pulled into all the weave. And so even though you started with double crochets, if you end with edging in the double crochet, it doesn't look the same. You know, if you want it to look the same without doing anything else, you need to do a row of single crochets. So see how now it looks very uniform and the same. Just something to be aware of whenever you are doing your own type of projects.